The Serpent's Eye, a legacy of obsession. Detective Miller returned to the Central Police Station, carrying the minuscule piece of parchment and a grainy photo of the missing watch, the Serpent's Eye. He needed a deep dive into Thorne's acquisition records. The Serpent's Eye wasn't just old, it was legendary. Miller found its file buried in a restricted digital archive. The watch was a unique piece, crafted in the late 17th century for a notoriously paranoid French alchemist named Alain de Martel. Martel believed he could transmute base metals into gold, but his true obsession was time itself. The watch was not designed to keep accurate time. Its purpose was far more sinister. The mechanism. Inside its heavy gold casing, the mechanism used only two hands, hours and minutes, but the dial had no numbers. Instead, it was inlaid with flakes of black opal arranged in a spiral pattern, the titular Serpent's Eye. Martel claimed the spiral moved according to an astrological calendar that dictated moments of perfect synchronicity for magical workings. The curse. Legend held that Martel, fearing his enemies would use the watch against him, infused it with a charm. Anyone who possessed the watch without knowing its activation sequence would be struck by unrelenting temporal anxiety, feeling as if their time was constantly running out. Martel believed this anxiety would drive his rivals mad, forcing them to discard the watch. The watch disappeared shortly after the French Revolution, resurfacing only twice in history. Once in the possession of a minor Russian noble who committed suicide after claiming his future had been stolen, and again in the 1920s with an occult scholar who simply vanished. Elias Thorne, the recently deceased collector, had acquired the watch just 2 years prior through a dubious private auction in Prague. The file included a note Thorne himself had attached. "The anxiety is real. I feel the minutes leaking away. The serpent is whispering. But the power of knowing when to act is worth the madness." Miller realized the significance of the missing watch, the three-digit number 724, and the timing of the murder. The motive. The killer wasn't a burglar. They were likely a descendant or a member of an ancient society, perhaps the descendants of Martel's rivals, who knew the true power of the watch and believed it was too dangerous to be owned. They didn't just want it, they needed to reclaim it. The clock clue. The killer stopped the grandfather clock at 2:07 a.m., 7 minutes after Thorne's approximate death. The number 7 was written on the parchment. Was the number 724 a catalog number, or was it a coded warning, a reference to the 7th hour, 2 minutes, 4 seconds, a time significant in the watch's astrological cycle? Miller stared at the photo of the